Looks like I'm lot. Holy cow! I already have somebody in chat. What's up, ladies and gentlemen? I am the Crypto Crow. I may end up recording this, downloading it, uploading it to Rumble. I've been working on trying to we're basically trying to get streaming on Rumble, and I'm kind of testing my system to see if there's any chance that I'm able to do a live stream without dropped frames. But I know that since I'm recording this and I'm going to upload it later, if it doesn't work out, it'll be basically full quality, everything on Rumble. So, but for right now, here we are. Jason Owen, what's up, man? And I really like this. Can't post comments to some destinations. I really like this Streamlabs setup. I don't like that I can't do kind of my background or my, like the web, the internet websites and things so that I'm going through news and such. But I do like how I can highlight comments and questions. So, as we're, moving forward and so forth, I can start showing go 60 frames per second. That would be wonderful. I would love to go live every day, folks. Believe me. So yeah, what's up, Crow from Hungary? Well, hopefully everything's going well over there. What's up, Spider03? Crow, we getting that 10-cent ADA? I would love to see a 10-cent ADA, but I don't think that's going to happen. It could. I mean, the bottom in the last bear market was 2 cents. So, I guess technically anything is possible, but I don't really see it going down to 10 cents. If it got down to 20 or 25, I'd be very happy. I'm just waiting to buy back in. Like, the people that don't really watch me on a regular basis, they don't really understand what exactly it is I'm doing. They just see that I sold and they think I'm a big trader and I've like, I'm trying to ruin the market or whatever. But yeah, no, that's not the case at all. Slayer fans in the house, what's up? I don't think I've seen you in a little while. Did I get an internet upgrade? No, but I am hardwired. And, I am hardwired when I go live. So, ooh, damn, my beard just got caught in my little beard trap right here and just yanked out a hair. That was comfy. Seeing a lot more people live very early. Already 142 of you guys out watching. And I'm doing this across Facebook, Twitter, all kinds of stuff. So that's actually pretty cool. And generally, the longer I'm live, the higher the numbers get. So whatever platform you're on, make sure you hit that like button and all that. What is your ladder? Hold on, let me see. What is your ladder plan for getting back into ADA? I'm waiting for Bitcoin to hit somewhere around 28 grand. And if it once Bitcoin hits that 200 weekly moving average, I'll feel confident in starting to average in or ladder in, as you call it. So that's all I'm waiting for. I mean, but the thing of it is it's just like everything else. When I'm looking at the market and I'm looking at the price action and what's happening and what's going on in the world, the technical indicators don't always call the shots. So, it just kind of depends on what's happening at the time. Depending on when we hit that 200 weekly moving average on Bitcoin, and depending on what's happening in the rest of the world, will ultimately dictate if I buy back in. Because if I think we're going to wick much lower, even if we wick below 28 grand on a weekly candle, but we don't close below it, we might see 25,000 that week, but it'll go back up, turn into a doji candle or something like that. And so, I'll probably ride it down and see how far I can go. I might put in some purchase limit orders or something like that and buy in that way. I don't know, but I will let everybody know, of course, when I start buying back in. There are a lot of people waiting for me to buy back in before they do. So, and here's the thing, I caught a lot of flack because I started getting out of my positions really while I was in Puerto Rico. And I started getting out of my positions at $2. And I did it kind of accidentally because I put in a market limit order, a market sell order at $2. And it just happened to hit. And I'm like, if the market continues to drop and it hits my limit, then we're probably going to go much lower. And we ended up doing that. So I technically started getting out at $2, but I liquidated the rest at like $1.46. But I didn't want everybody to just jump on my bandwagon and do what I was doing, because if it was a temporary lull or a short-term bear cycle of some sort or whatever, I didn't want to drag everyone down with me. A lot of people think that, people make up their own shit. It is what it is. But I just didn't want to hurt anybody. If I was wrong on my call, I didn't want people to follow me. And then I finally announced it like a couple weeks later, and it probably is going to continue going much lower. And of course it has. So even if people, oh, cool, I've already got the impersonator I have on Facebook. What a piece of shit. I need to, I swear these impersonators, man, they just plague me. They're all over all of my social media. And I have to wonder, do people really fall for it? I get messages all the time on Instagram. I'm not even big on Instagram. Nobody gives a shit about me on Instagram. I'm not that damn pretty, and I don't have an ass. So I'm not going to be popular on Instagram. Let's be real about it. But man, they're on there too, sending messages to anyone that follows me. It's just asinine. And then they comment as me on my own Facebook posts. There he is again. Are you kidding me? Yeah. Basically, for any of you guys watching, there's 161 of you right now. Any of you guys watching, if I'm talking about anything WhatsApp, or I'm posting addresses to the public, send me this, I'll send you some back, please know it's bullshit and that it's not me ever, ever, ever. I don't want anything from you ever, ever, ever. These pieces of garbage. I actually chatted with one. I befriended one, and they're bots, and it's like these platforms give us no way of really dealing with them. We should be able to do like IP bans on these people, but whatever, it is what it is. As long as everybody knows these people are fake, and they drive me nuts. Crow mining, what's up, Adamar? Crow mining, it looks like it's been doing pretty well for people. I was really pumping it for a while, and we've had some hardware failures that are generally always pretty quickly resolved for everyone. So yeah, Crow mining has been doing pretty well for everyone. So, but Bitcoin mining, that's another thing. It's kind of like, it depends on when you buy the hardware. If you buy the hardware towards the peak of a market, if you buy Bitcoin at $8,000, you sell it at 50, and you buy some mining equipment to like basically harvest Bitcoin over the bear market for a couple to 3 years, could be pretty good. But if you're buying it at the bottom, when Bitcoin's really low, you're better off just buying Bitcoin than buying mining equipment. I have Crow mining. I'm a marketing partner. But me, I'm just going to tell you how it is. Don't buy mining equipment at the bottom of a market. Could you talk about Jed? So here's the thing about Jed. I know it's a stable token and it's built on Cardano and all of that. Here's the thing. I am going to start really actively diving into a lot of projects on Cardano because it is my number one blockchain. I love Charles. He messaged me recently, and I kind of keep him abreast of what I've got going on. I have so much going on, folks. You have no idea. I've got Zempify.com, obviously, which is my NFT marketplace for Cardano NFTs. ADA Tokenizer, which is a place to mint tokens and mint NFTs and all that stuff. And I know I don't pump a lot of this stuff. I don't aggressively push because there's a greater plan in play. None of these things individually are it, right? I have a tactical tabletop miniatures game that I'm developing right now, as it happens with a couple primary developers in the Ukraine who send me pictures of like blown up buildings and shit in their neighborhood all the time. It's really crazy. These guys, I fear for these guys, and they basically have taken a lot of their neighbors and they've huddled together and relocated to like a far away part of the Ukraine that's not necessarily as war torn. So it's bad. I mean, and it's real. Like, you know, I know there's a lot of people out there that are like, oh, this war is not real, blah, blah. Yeah, it is. It's real. I mean, my developers live there and they're showing me stuff that's going on. And it's pretty scary to live in that. Now, all the politics behind it and everything else associated with Ukraine, I don't know. Okay. I'm not even going to get into that in this video, but what's happening there is very much a real thing. And but my developers are still plugging away, man, and they send me these little video clip updates of their progress and spell effects and this and that. And but I have this game in development, and I honestly think it's going to be freaking badass, and it's going to be basically a game that I'm funding myself out of pocket. And you know, I'm not crowdfunding it. I'm not doing any of that right now. Once we have the full MVP where we can go in and play against each other with our own created lists, then I'm sending that MVP to the CEO and owner of the game company that I'm ultimately building this game to take after, if you will. And I want it to play exactly like the tabletop game. He doesn't think we're going to be able to do it. He doesn't think anybody can. I think we already are. He just doesn't know it yet. Because I'm seeing it. And these Ukrainian developers are pretty smart people, man. Like he's getting it. So anyway, and then at that point, once he's seen it, he's like, this actually looks good. Yeah, let's go. Then I'm going to announce we're building an NFT based blockchain version of this tabletop game that you all know and love. And but if he's like, you know, it's not quite up to par, or it's not, he'll either give me some advice and tell me these are some things we'd like to change. They're very, 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 very nitpicky about very specific little details of models and you know, interactions and what these models do. And if it doesn't work out with this company, then we're going to just continue on with our own IP. We're going to rebrand it, rename it, and we're going to just create everything our own. So it is what it is. But either way, we're building this game and it's going to launch. Now, outside of that, even I have another development group, individual with some help, building a social platform. I'm not even going to tell you the name of it. But when all is said and done, and I have an NFT search engine, ZetaSeek. So the way that I plan on all this working is we're building. See, this is the thing you guys don't realize. Like, I'm not just hanging out, like doing nothing. I mean, it's a bear market. But as I say to everyone, the bear market is the opportunity to build a foundation to grow from in the bull market, man. And whether you're basically buying in while prices are low and you're accumulating over time, you're averaging your buy-in price so that when the bull market comes back around someday, you know, probably 2025 into 26, you know, you make a whole bunch of money and it changes your life forever. Well, in the meantime, I love to build stuff. And there are a lot of things that I have a genuine interest in. So I am, you know, basically my social media platform is the way I want to do. See, I shouldn't even say that. I don't want to say too much, but I will say that all of the individual projects that we've been building over the last, I don't know, year and a half are all going to come together into one social media platform on the Cardano blockchain. And I've explained some of this stuff to Charles. He seems pretty excited about it. He wants to do an interview and talk about it and give me the opportunity to talk to him about everything I'm building. But I want to be able to show some stuff. I want to be able to show some really cool shit when Charles and I take up that opportunity. And then at that point, you know, like the game, I want anybody that is on the social media platform to be able to access the game and play other people in that social media platform if they so choose. You know, you have Facebook and it has all these different games and stuff you can play. I want my game to basically be a big part of my social media platform, as well as some features and functions that nobody's doing. Because the way I look at social media, a lot of these companies they're putting out, you know, clones of this and clones of that. And that's okay. but you need to have something new that draws people in, because if it already exists, just putting the same thing on a blockchain isn't going to be enough. You have to increase functionality. You have to increase stickiness. You have to give people something to do. And while it may be very niche focused around the crypto space and NFTs and gaming and things initially, that's okay. Facebook started in college dorms, apparently. Not at all funded by somebody's super rich uncle. But whatever. So that's kind of where I'm at. And I can't wait to be able to announce some of the stuff, because it's going to be really kick ass. I really do. And who knows, maybe it puts me in a position where I can end up on Joe Rogan someday. And he's like, I know that you've emailed me and my staff, and you've been trying to get on this show for years, and here you are. You're finally here. People call you the Joe Rogan of crypto, and now you're here with Joe Rogan. How do you feel about that? And I'm like, dude, I'm high. I'm high as hell right now. Thank you for having me. Thank you for all that shit you gave me before we started. I'm kidding. I don't know. But anyway, Jason, did you sacrifice it? No. You pulse chain people like Adamar, really? Oh my goodness. No, I'm not in Pulse Chain. I don't give two shits about Pulse Chain. Listen, I don't have any problems with Richard Hart. Okay. He's doing his thing. Guy's stupid rich, I'm sure. He lives on a throne of gold. And good for him. I don't have any problems with him. I don't even really have any problems with Hex, to be quite honest with you. I'm just not interested. That's all. I've had Richard on the channel, and we've talked about things, and we've debated a little bit. He's a smart guy. He knows his tech. He's been a part of Bitcoin since, I don't know, the really early days. I mean, he's one of the really, really first adopters. And more power to him. As long as nobody's getting hurt, more power to him. I don't care. I'm just not personally interested. I'm personally interested in technology that goes beyond just helping speculators make money. Okay. I look at the profitability of crypto speculation as a side effect of getting into legitimate projects that are going to change the world. That's what interests me. I'm at a point in my life. I mean, folks, I'm almost 45. I'm an old bastard to most of you. And I'm at a point in my life where the things that I do, since I got into crypto, I used to get super emotional because I felt a lot of weight. I still feel a lot of weight, a lot of pressure to perform, to try and kind of take I do feel that I have some talents. I do have some gifts. I mean, I do have a way of being able to take some really complex things and kind of make them easier for the masses to understand. And I just speak from my gut. I'm not here with any real agenda other than I just want to help educate, enlighten, inform, teach, help. I mean, really, that's it. I mean, that's one of the reasons why I stuck through the entire last bear market, because I felt like I needed to. And I get all the messages today. To this day, I still get them all over the place. Thank you so much. Any number of different circumstances or variables to the equation of, I got in, the market went down. I was new. I didn't know what to expect. You gave me the confidence to push forward, and my life has changed because of it. It's also one of the reasons why I kind of died down a bit during the bull market, because I felt like my job is done. Like I did what I did through the bear market when everybody's numbers were low, and I see all of these YouTubers blow up around me. I see guys and gals, and they're 15, 20,000 subscribers on YouTube during the bear market, and then they're just blowing up during the bull market while I took a break. I went to Puerto Rico for 6 months and had vertigo and was bedridden, and I was in kind of hell, trying to survive 90-degree weather and 85-degree weather at 2 a.m, and then on top of that, like the YouTube terminations and stuff, resetting my algorithm. I mean, I used to have 2,000 people live every time I would go live. And it's like, and then your channel just gets randomly terminated for no reason. It's one of the big reasons why I'm really trying to get on a Rumble and build my Rumble channel. And, the technology is still a little cumbersome. I admit, but, so is YouTube. You know what? Here's something that I'll tell you guys. I actually created YouTube before there was YouTube, and that is no bullshit. Me and my old business partner, Joe, God love the man. I mean, I was 21 years old, I think, and I was a bouncer at a bar he owned. And we got to talking and talking, and we'd go out and we'd have lunch, we'd have dinner, have drinks and joke and be silly. And this guy, he did really well in the printing world, and older fella, but one day he was like, someday you're going to be filthy rich and I want to be the one that backs you. And I'll never forget that, because it was the first time I felt like anyone saw me not just as this giant dude, this really big guy. He saw the potential in me that I'm grateful for to this day, because quite frankly, I feel that all of the things that I learned working with him over the course of several years, we still talk. I mean, he's always got some crazy idea, something that he's working on, something he's doing. And I know he watches my channel. But it's a lot of what I learned through working with him in so many different things. And it's what enabled me to do a lot of what I do today, quite frankly. I mean, my time working with him, people say, I want a mentor and I want this. And he was that for me. I mean, he's crazy. I mean, he's a fucking crazy bastard. And, I remember he suffered a really bad stroke. And I about lost it, because, it was definitely a much more of a business relationship, but it was also one that, like, he was the closest thing, I think, outside of my uncle who passed away. He was the closest thing I think I ever had to a father. And, and I learned a lot. And so the whole point of me even bringing a lot of that up is, I am trying to be that for everyone else that watches my channel. And I take it really seriously. And, I do paid segments. I've got bills. I've got a family, and I've got taxes like everyone else. But I really try to focus on things that I think are going to help change the world. And with that, ultimately change the lives of those investing and speculating on its progress. And over the years, I was really big into like 35 different crypto assets. And, over the course of the bear market, it all ended up ending up in Cardano, because Cardano's the one that has proven time and again to not fail me. And while everyone in the world is talking all kinds of trash because they hold this token or that token, Cardano's not even finished. Cardano's not even finished, and it's outperformed so much. And when over the course of this next year, I really think that the gloves are going to come off in big ways. And I think that everyone holding Cardano, everyone involved in it, I think everybody's going to do insanely well in the next bull peak. And I am going to be diving into a lot of these projects, and really take a look at, what's being built, because I'll tell you right now, there are going to be a lot of projects built on the Cardano blockchain that are garbage. I mean, Cardano doesn't dictate what's being developed on it. They're just laying a framework from which everyone else can build. And I feel like the better the blockchain, the faster it is, the more opportunity, the bigger the community, the more it's going to attract more developers. And so, it's going to be a grab bag. I don't know what we're going to get. And so people ask me, what do you think about Jed? What do you think about COTI? What do you think about this? I don't know yet, because I haven't really started diving deep into it. But there's obviously a demand. And so, yeah, that is probably the longest winded answer I could give anyone for any question. But there you go. Casey Walters, long timer Crow fan here. It's always good to hang with the family during blood days. Crow always keeps the crowd calm. Keep up the good work. Thank you, man. Looking at that picture, you kind of remind me a little bit, don't take this wrong, but you kind of remind me of Michael Rappaport just a little bit. And I only say that because he's a goofball. I mean, he's an absolute goofball. And I heard him a million times on Howard Stern and things, just riling everybody up. But actually, my wife had never seen the movie Higher Learning. And I was like, holy cow, you got to see it. So we just watched Higher Learning, And Michael Rappaport was like, I don't know, 19 or 20 or something in that movie. And you kind of remind me of him. Much better looking, much more handsome than Michael Rappaport. But your photo definitely reminds me of him. Crow is the bear whisperer. It really is. It's the best opportunity. I mean, it's a hard reset for everyone that came into the crypto space late, and they bought in because they saw a bunch of headlines and they're like, what's this about? I think I'll get in. And then the market starts to tank right after and they're starting to lose their minds. Listen, that's when I feel like the public needs me the most. And that's one of the reasons why I'm trying to build so much. And, it's that. Thank you for that. It does actually mean a lot to see that. Let's see here. Crow, is the UST capitulation proof that traditional finance can't be beaten? No, I don't think so. I just think that I think to some extent it's just poor planning. A lot of these assets that are pegged to Bitcoin and things like that, like really volatile assets, to me, that's just kind of crazy. Because we are still in pretty significant volatile market cycles. I mean, when everybody that's been in through a market cycle knows, and we're all waiting for the peak, right? Newcomers to the space don't know to wait for the peak or to look for a peak or when is a peak, what is a peak. They don't know a lot of this stuff, but we do. And even then, there's always a question of like, was this the peak? Is it going to go back up from here? Is this going to be a 2-peak market, a 3-peak market? What's going to happen? Nobody really knows 100%. I happen to have called it pretty accurately on Twitter. But outside of that, I mean, even then I wasn't 100% sure. Nobody is. You can't be because there's too much at play. So I think there'll come a day when Bitcoin is a much better peg for some sort of stable coin asset, but it's going to be 10 years down the line. I mean, this is something that I think we're going to continue to have pretty significant market swings and market cycles based off of the halving until that halving isn't as... So, this is the way I see it. If you look at Bitcoin on a logarithmic chart, right? And you can see, and I can't pull one up, but if you look at Bitcoin on a logarithmic chart, we're always going up, 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 up. All right. And every time there's a halving, we go into a bull cycle. We go up even further. Typically, we go deep into the red of the logarithmic chart, and then we start to come down and reset. It didn't happen this cycle, because the volatility of this growth is starting to diminish a little. It's still there, and we're still suffering pretty significant crypto market drops. But that's also, in a way, it's a way to weed out the shit, let the cream rise to the top, and take us to the next level. And ultimately, I think the regulations are going to clean house. I really do. And honestly, I kind of hope they do. I know a lot of people are, regulate this, regulate that. No, we really do need better regulation in the crypto space. And I don't think it's proof that I don't believe that. I think UST, and I'm not even 100% deep or familiar with Terra Luna or UST. I named it as a blockchain that I was interested in a video in the past. Obviously, it's not performing very well. I mean, let's see, Terra Luna is currently trading at $3.62. It's down almost 88%. Absolutely crazy. I mean, it was $31 yesterday. I mean, wow. $85 a week ago. $85. It went from $85 down to $4. That's crazy. So, yeah, I mean, but at the same time, hey, it was $85 2 weeks ago. It dropped because of this craziness with the stable token associated with it. Could be an opportunity to get in. This could be a bear market buy before we've even hit the bottom of the market. This could continue moving up from here. Who knows? I don't know. I'm not touching it personally, but doesn't mean that it might not prove pretty fruitful for some people if you believe that, Terra is going to, rework, restructure, do what it needs to do to get back in play. But I've also seen a lot of stuff associated with Terra Luna and what they did, buying out, a lot of the capitulation and basically there's a whole thing about it. I personally am staying far away from Terra Luna at this point. I want no part of it whatsoever. But yeah, I don't think it really proved anything. Um, oh, thank you. Thoughts on UST? Well, there you go. Answered your question before I even saw your super chat, but thanks for that. I appreciate it. 326 people live. Hopefully you guys are smashing those likes. Follow me on Rumble. I'm telling you, there's going to come a day when I hit some numbers on Rumble and I'm going to let it rip. You don't want to miss it. I'm telling you now. It's just been building in me for over 2 years. I just don't want to premature. You can finish the rest of that sentence. What stable coin do you trust while you wait? That's a tough question. I don't really use stable coins. I really don't. I don't really use stable coins. You know what stable coin I probably will trust, as crazy it may sound? CBDCs. I mean, because they're coming, man, and I don't care. They're trackable, they're programmable, they're all of that, but I'm not going to be worried about them tanking. I'm not going to be worried about any crazy stuff going on. And, you know, when it comes to like exchange trading, if I'm going to leave anything on an exchange waiting for a buyback, I would probably end up using the CD. Listen, I file my taxes. I pay my taxes. I don't have a choice. And you know, and I'll tell you something else to that. I've kind of touched on this before. I know that guys like Nomad Capitalist and stuff, he does really well telling people about all the different places where taxes are less, or there's no tax here, there's no tax here. I would much rather just pay my damn taxes and, you know, then worry about getting like kidnapped in some other part of the world that, you know, oh, wow, I saved all this money in taxes, but now I'm tied up in the back of a van. I mean, you know, call me a wuss, but, you know, I don't care how big and bad I can be. When you're staring down the barrel of 5 different guns pointed at your face telling you to get in, I don't really think there's much you can do about that. And in some of these parts of the world, man, nobody really gives that much of a shit. You think the U.S. is going to come save your ass? I doubt it. When he's over there because he's not paying taxes. Yeah, we'll just let him sit there for a while. It's like, let's just leave him in timeout, like you do with your kids. We'll just let him rot there for a while. If he survives in a couple weeks, maybe we'll give him an opportunity. Maybe we'll send somebody to come get him. I mean, I just don't. To me, it's just not worth it. I mean, the infrastructure here, outside of me having slow internet, I mean, it's like I like where I live, man. I like where I'm at, and you know, really no amount of money is worth degrading your happiness or the opportunity for happiness. Puerto Rico is a nice place. I have a place in my heart for Puerto Rico. I really do. I love the people so much. We made so many friends in Puerto Rico. And like, I do really like Puerto Rico, but there are parts of it that I didn't like at all. The heat, for one. I mean, it's so damn hot there. I mean, it's so hot. Like, you know, people like island life. Yeah, you know why? Because everybody's hot. Nobody wants to do shit because it's always so damn hot. And like, you know, me being 7 foot, 300 pounds. Yeah, that heat, that gets you. And I swear to God, when we got off that plane, I felt like I was having to push through a brick wall because it was so damn hot. And it hit me so hard, I ended up with vertigo. I think it did something to my inner ear. I don't know. I couldn't get out of bed for like 2 damn months. It was bad. And like, you know, outside of that, the traffic, you know, a lot of places outside of the US, I mean, the UK obviously is fine, but like there are a lot of places outside of the US, man, there's like very little traffic laws. You see people dead hanging out. I saw my first like dead guy on the highway, like in Puerto Rico. And I'm not kidding. I mean, pancaked a box truck into a semi. Everybody just drives like they're batshit crazy there. And like that scared the hell out of me. Every time any of my like friends, family, anybody got into a car, I was scared. I was, because I'm like, a 4-way intersection in Puerto Rico is a suggestion. Like everything there is a suggestion. And you know, like if you're in Florida or you're somewhere, you know, in the mainland, you get to a 4-way intersection, people stop and you do a round robin. That's just common decency. Everybody's patient. In Puerto Rico, everybody meets in the middle, cusses each other out, honks their horn, and works their way out of it. And it's like a constant thing, and it's just nut. You know what? I'll pay my fucking taxes. That's the way I see it. It's just like, and then like right after we moved away, you know, right after we moved away, like the police went on strike because of a whole bunch of stuff with their pensions. And The police in Puerto Rico don't make very much. I mean, we had a police officer delivering furniture, and he's just telling us how things are and telling you protect yourself, get yourself a gun, get yourself, don't do this. Like in Puerto Rico, it's legal to go through red lights if you're a female driver after dark, because you just don't know what the hell's going to happen. So, but I mean, it is beautiful. The water there was beautiful. The beaches there were, I mean, some of them were, we went to one a lot called Manatee. Absolutely beautiful there. And yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff, but I don't even know. Yeah. What stable coin do you trust? That's what started this. This is me live, folks. So, for whatever it's worth, this is just me, just giving you whatever comes to mind in the moment. We are hitting the bear market hard. Yeah, probably. Why is the market so red? I lost a lot of money. Well, technically, you only lose what you sell at a loss. So, when somebody comes to me and they're like, oh, Crow, I bought it at a higher price and it's dropping and tanking and this and that. What do I do? Well, you've got two options. Either one, you could take the capital losses against any potential capital gains you've made and then buy back in if you wanted. Or you could just wait for the price to drop further, accumulate more at a bottom or at a lower price, and ultimately average down the original price you bought in at, so that when the market does turn around, you're at profit sooner than having to wait for the price you bought it at originally. Does that make sense? It's called averaging down. And it's honestly what, like with Crow Trader, my trading bot, my bot does that automatically. It does that very, very well. Like, you might buy into an asset and it might be, I don't know, it could be anything. It could be Cardano against Bitcoin, right? Like you load up your bot, you've got like 0.1 Bitcoin or a couple grand worth of Bitcoin, and you buy Cardano. Let's say you're wanting to trade Cardano back and forth on a Bollinger Band. Let's say you buy in at the top of a band and it starts dropping or whatever. You should buy into the bottom of a band. But let's say that band falls and now it ends up somewhere closer to the top because the price has dropped and you're stuck. Well, you're not stuck, because the bot has settings where you could say, all right, I'm going to DCA 10 times, right? And by DCA, you're doubling down. So let's say I bought $100 worth of Cardano, the price drops, and I bought it at $1. Well, now the price is down to 90 cents. Okay, what do? Well, you could wait for it. Maybe every time it goes down by 2 or 3%, you double down. You buy another $100. You're averaging down your price. And then what happens is when it does get an uptick, which generally almost always happens, even in a bear market, at that point, you're selling at a lower price, but overall higher. So let's say that you started at $1. By the time the price goes up, it starts to turn around at around 70 cents. But your average price is 75 cents now, because you've continued to average down over a period of a week or whatever, however long it takes. Now, you only have to get to like 76 cents to meet profit, rather than wait for it to get all the way back to that $1, which it may not do during a bear market. Does that make sense? So it's a similar strategy. I mean, generally, across the board. Elko Gutierrez. I don't know if I pronounced that right. I really do try. You have a beautiful heart, brother. I love you. Thanks, man. Adam R. Love the emotion, Jason. You, the true GOAT. That is super sweet. Stay strong. Tinker. I love that name. I love to tinker. I love to tinker with stuff. I'm just a big nerd. That's all. I'm a big, scary looking dude, but really, I'm just a nerd. I paint little miniatures, folks. I've had my days in the cage and my time in the aggressive world. I don't want to be aggressive anymore. ETH is up 6.5%. Yeah. Temporary. Too many promises, not enough proof. I'm not sure what that's in relate to. What's this say? Damian wins 618. I can't express how happy I am to hear from you. Your words of wisdom, especially during these times, are appreciated. That's cool, man. I try. I really do. I try to educate the masses as best I can. Not flashy. I'm not, Alex, my cousin, what's up, man? I hope you're doing well. Now, this is a dude. Alex is my cousin. Lives in like Cleveland, I think, unless he's moved, but he got into Cardano, and he's got a bunch of buddies and stuff. They all got into Cardano together, and this dude Like, if you think my voice is deep, him and his brother, their voices don't even sound real. They're so, who you guys remember this young black dude with glasses? He ended up becoming like a meme or whatever. And you look at him and he just looks like this nerdy dude, but then he starts singing and it's like this that my cousins basically sound like that, like just like all the time. It's kind of funny. I know some of you guys got to know the dude I'm talking about because he blew up everywhere for a minute. And started doing impressions and things, I think. I haven't seen anything from him in a while, but I love you too. I absolutely love you too. Brian Murphy, hey, Crow from Ireland, keep up the good work. That's cool. Thanks, man. Any questions you guys have, I'm here to try and answer. I have like news and things, so I'm going to scroll down. I'm going to go through some news. We'll have some fun, and then we'll answer some more questions. Let's see. Hecto, Crow is the best crypto influencer out there because he talks always from his heart. Yeah, thanks, man. And I try not to, I don't refer to myself really as an influencer so much because I just don't, Jessica, when you teared up about ADA, I sold everything and bought it. Now I'm closing on a house because of it. Holy shit, that's great. That's really cool, man. Man, obviously you're not a man. I say man to my wife sometimes, and she's like, man. I don't know. That's awesome. I love seeing the stories, man. I get so many messages all across social media. Just everybody that got into Cardano, and that, and it's like, it's tough sometimes because when the whole world is talking about other projects, it's not easy being kind of the front runner or the leader of something that a lot of people don't understand, or they don't know much about, or what they do see is like bots like flooding it. And back in 2017, Cardano was not a project everybody was trying to dive into. There was so much FUD and so much bullshit put out by everywhere. Everyone that held big bags of another project didn't want Cardano to do well. And I had bags of all kinds of stuff, including Ethereum, Bitcoin, everything else. But I just try to keep it real, and it's like I see a lot of potential in Cardano. This is back when it was 33 cents, and it's just started to come up. It was the dataless wallet at the time, honestly, I thought was garbage. It was fallible. Let's just say that. But I saw what they were doing, and I believed in the vision, and I believed in the way they were going about it. And here we are, man. We're in a bear market again in a new cycle. They've accomplished so much already. What do you think they're going to accomplish by the next bull market? When scalability, interoperability. Listen, this bear market is a hard reset for everyone to be able to get into something groundbreaking. And I know I sound like a I don't know, a Cardano moon boy. And I don't mean to. It's just, that's what I think. Avalanche is paying the price for being one of the collateral assets that maintain Terra's native stablecoin, Terra UST, pegged with the US dollar. Major AVAX dump ahead. AVAX's prices dropped 30% to reach 32.50 on May 11th, its lowest level since September of 2021. Its massive intraday decline coincided with UST dropping to as low as 23 cents, which effectively dented its stablecoin status among traders and investors alike. I actually have been pretty fond of Avalanche. There's been a lot of really positive growth and a positive activity. I haven't dove in super deep into the project, but it's definitely one I've been kind of seeing out of the corner of my eye treat people pretty well. I'm doubting that this is, here's the thing, when we're in a bear market and the prices of everything, including Bitcoin, Ethereum, everything else is tanking, you can try to peg that price action to like any like negative connotation or any kind of negative situation that's happening elsewhere in the crypto space. But not having dove deep into Avalanche recently, I'm going to assume that this is just the market being the market. Probably doesn't have much to do with anything. Now, I did want to address this for anybody that's out there kind of wondering. CEO of Coinbase, the CEO, Brian Armstrong, has clarified that a new disclosure in the firm's 10Q filing, which states that customers could be treated as the company's general unsecured creditors in the event of bankruptcy, was required by the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission. So I think people saw this, and he's basically trying to say, listen, we have to do a whole bunch of stuff. They're a U.S. regulated exchange. They report everything to the SEC, the IRS, everyone. Okay. They're also one of the biggest exchanges out there. They were one of the first fiat on ramps for crypto. For those of you that are new, hashtag you're new. And this is normal. I mean, a lot of people are like, in the event of bankruptcy, are they going to file bankruptcy? No, relax, chill. That's all Brian was basically saying in this little article. He's like, don't worry. Like, I don't believe Coinbase is going anywhere. And I'm not worried about that. But they put out a little bit of an article just to basically say, hey, we're good. This is normal shit. We have to file all this stuff for the SEC. I mean, there are a lot of protections associated with, being a Coinbase user or like a Kraken user or any of these U.S. regulated exchanges. I know that the government loves to come out with regulations and all kinds of red tape in the name of public security, right? In the name of protecting the people, us dumb lemmings, right? And oftentimes it's some control method that basically makes more people have to bow to them and pay them and all this other shit. I mean, it's all a big racket. I mean, to a large degree. However, they also do protect the people. So it's kind of a catch-22. It's almost like, I don't know, it's almost like the mob. They run around and are like, hey, you give us 10% of your profit and we'll make sure nothing happens to your store. And if you don't pay, your store might catch fire tomorrow. I mean, I kind of look at it like that to some degree, but the reality is that same store owner can be like, hey, this guy keeps coming into my store stealing shit. Well, by the next day, that guy's probably going to be on crutches. I mean, and it's just kind of the way I see a lot of the stuff going on in the world. I mean, it's everybody wants to be paid. Everybody wants their cut. And, but all of these big exchanges that are out there doing their thing, I mean, they do protect the people and they do make sure. I mean, hell, even in the mortgage business, oh my God, there's so much stuff that you have to do. Disclosure after disclosure after disclosure, and just so much stuff that you have to do, all in the name of protecting the people. People don't even read the shit. I mean, you can have a 120-page document for somebody to sign in the mortgage business. When I was in the mortgage business, I don't know how many loans I closed. I mean, so many. I think only one time that I have somebody actually sit there and read every single page. One time. I mean, in, I don't know, 3, 4, 5 years. I don't know. So yeah, that just goes to show a lot of it's gobbledygook. Same with gaming. How many like UELAs and things like that do you have to click accept to anytime you're playing like an MMORPG or something like that? You don't sit there and read that shit. Nobody does. Cardano has been worshipped by the fundamentalists for years, but it's the most boring, flatlining cryptocurrency of all. I really wonder what all the hype is about. You are hashtag you new. Hashtag you're new. What is all the hype about? I'm guessing you don't tune into my channel very often or haven't. Maybe check out my Cardano playlist. Maybe start back from the very beginning and watch its growth over time as I've covered it. If you don't know, man, it's just, there's too much to explain in like 5 minutes as an answer. But ultimately, I believe it's going to be the fastest, most scalable, interoperable blockchain developed by massive teams of scientists and engineers working together in a peer review method to create one of the best secure blockchains out there. I mean, I don't know how else to put it. It's not being developed as quickly as a lot of the shit that gets like tossed together by a couple guys in their basement. They do a crowdfunding with a bunch of promises, put out a broken blockchain that either gets hacked a week later, they rug pull a week later, or they spend the next 5 years trying to patch every hole they left before they went public with it. But if that's your bag, I mean, cool. If you want to play a speculative game, there's a lot of projects out there that grow in price much quicker than Cardano. But when I'm investing something, especially significant sums of money into something, I want to invest in something that I don't feel bad if I miss the peak of the market. I can hold it. I can stake it. I can generate more as a passive revenue stream over time. There's going to come a point where staking Cardano will very likely become like a legit income stream for people, especially as the ecosystem continues to grow on Cardano. I mean, think about it. If you're able to purchase, 100,000, 200,000, 500,000 of a particular asset that goes up to, $5 or $6, and you're delegating that to a staking node like CROW. But if you're delegating that to a node and you're generating a passive return like every week, every epoch, every 5 or 6 days or so, and you're able to generate, I don't know, a few grand a month, for a lot of people, they can live on that. And that in turn it secures the network. It benefits the node operators who are basically, it costs me money to maintain my node. It costs me server fees and all and stuff like that, which is why I've seen some of these nodes coming down, because there are a lot of nodes out there. And so, and because of that, there's not as much. I used to have I think I had like 60 something million ADA delegated to one of my nodes, to the point where I created a spillover node that I took offline. I don't even know what my node's at right now. It's like 25 million, maybe something like that. I don't know. And it's still good, but it doesn't matter what my node has on it. I didn't cash out. I pledged 100,000 ADA to my node that remains to this day. I'm not touching it. My node does well. It's consistent. It does what it does, and I'm happy with it. And so are everybody else that's on there. So, while other people are like, oh, I got to sell, I'm going to cash out, I'm not doing any of that. I had, it is what it is. But yeah, if you don't know, you should definitely take a look. Just watch my Cardano playlist, and a lot of your questions should be answered. Yeah, that is awesome. Hey, Crow, Charles is making in space in Twitter. Get in, dude. I don't know. I haven't talked to him about that. Listen, I would go live with Charles pretty much anytime he wants to. If he wants to bring me on Twitter, I'm down. Let's see. Arguan Modeth. Why does anyone think regulators know how to fix anything? Well, they don't. They don't know how to fix anything. But I think that regulators, to some degree, as they continue to learn the technology and they continue to learn what sort of opportunities and methods there are associated with like ripping people off or, crowdfunding a bogus project, taking everybody's money and dipping out to India or something. My nose is starting to itch. Yeah, they do know how to handle that. And they know how to go after people. Listen, I've had some calls with people at the SEC in the past, and it was like eerie. It was creepy in a way, because these guys are smart, and when I was like talking to these guys, and I'm like visualizing like the smoking man from what's the TV show, X-Files. It's like this dark kind of seedy guy, and real smart, kind of planning out all kinds of like eerie shit, smoking cigarettes. That's how I felt. I don't know. There was just something about it. I'm like, I don't ever want to piss these people off. I don't want. No, thanks. For whatever, it's fine. Go after all these big shady dudes and all that, but yeah. Let's see what's. Tinker Greg. Crow, you don't think this could be the first time Bitcoin drops below the 200 MA on a weekly and holds? With the threat of a recession, et cetera, how can we expect same cycles as before? I don't know. That's the thing. Like, nobody knows 100%. We can all make our best guesses based off of of history of price action, based off of what's going on in the world and things like that. But what I do know is that as we continue to move forward in the world and everything is happening the way it is, listen, when the CBDCs do become a regular thing in the lives of everyone, I just saw something like 30 million people in Italy are being brought into the like digital IDs and the CBDCs and all of that. And then they're basically going after people that need like government assistance, government aid, things like that first. They're saying, okay, we'll help. But you got to do the XYZ. You have to start using this cashless token. You have to use this digital ID. And in a sense, it's kind of a test bed, right? And then they're trying to incentivize people that don't need government assistance or aid with like cashback programs and things like that. It's just a matter of time until this stuff goes and filters into the rest of the world. What do you think is going to be the store of value for these CBDCs as people are speculating, trading, and doing their thing? It's going to be Bitcoin, folks. Let's be real about it. And so, and we're going to see a lot of people buying in and out of Bitcoin with CBDC tokens. It's why I believe that ultimately, once regulation really starts to kick off, a lot of these stable tokens out there are probably going to be regulated to hell and back. It's going to be super difficult to maintain all of the requirements associated with basically having them. And it's all going to be in favor of these CBDCs. I believe that CBDC tokens are going to become the like number one primary stable coin associated with, like somebody asked, like, what do you trust? What stable coin do you trust if you're waiting to buy back in? It's going to be the CBDC. And to be honest, I don't think that, and I think, when you're talking about companies like Coinbase or Kraken and all these US regulated exchanges, I believe they're likely going to be first adopters. And there may be incentives for people to start adopting them as a stable token. I'm fine with it. I'm fine with it. I'm at a point in my life where I'm just like, I don't really care anymore. I care about the restrictions of freedoms. I care about like kind of the clown show that's going on. I care about a lot of that, but I don't care so much about like the use of a CBDC token. We're all going to use it anyway. What sci-fi movie have you ever watched that they didn't have some kind of like credits or digital money? I mean, it is what it is. It's going to happen. But as far as the exact question, as I continue to ramble, wow, I've been alive almost an hour. And let me know in the comments, if you will, how has the video stream been? How's the quality been? Have I been dropping frames? Am I like max headroom, or is it all good? I haven't seen anything saying that the video looks bad, so maybe it's working today. And like I said, it could drop below the 200 weekly, but I do doubt it's going to close below it. In the last cycle, we hit the 200 weekly moving average twice before we got to the halving, and something like that may happen again. I don't know. I really don't know. Let's see. First to 250, Luna, Avalanche, or Solana. That's funny. It's obviously not going to be Luna. I see Solana's dumping pretty hard. I mean, and this is what I've been telling people for a long time. Like, Solana, what do you think of Solana? And you see the big back and forth kind of wars between Solana and Cardano communities and things. Listen, let me put it to you this way. Solana is owned primarily, last I saw, it was like over 51% by the team and venture capitalist investors. Okay. Cardano has like its own venture capital group that funds other people's projects, but it's like the most decentralized thing out there. And a totally different breed, totally different animal. I personally have no interest in any of the three. If anything, I would probably feel a little more comfortable having a little bit of play money in Avalanche just for shits and giggles. But I won't touch Solana and Luna. We all know how that's working out right now. Luna could be an opportunity. Doesn't need to hit $250. It was $85. It's like a couple bucks now. If over the next year they build up, I mean, this could be a really good bottom. I mean, who knows? Maybe Luna goes down to 50 cents or something. And then it goes, even if it goes back up to like 25 or $30, it's still a pretty good deal. But again, when I break down everything across the crypto sphere, I look at it and I think, Cardano is my safest bet. Like if I'm going to put any kind of, and I'm not a financial advisor. Obviously, I don't have all my disclaimers all over this thing. I'm just some dude on the internet. I've been studying cryptocurrency since 2017. That's it. I don't have a major financial background. I'm not licensed for anything. I just love to tell people I'm just some old idiot on the internet. I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. I just share what I think. That's it. It is what it is. You take it or leave it. Don't do what I do or do what I say. Do what you feel is right in your heart. That's it. If you feel that any of those is, for whatever reason, you're reading the white papers, you're reading everything, you're seeing the headlines, you're watching interviews with the team and this and that, and something hits you in the heart in a way that makes sense to you, go with it. You're either right or you're wrong. You'll find out in due time. Mr. Techno Goody, innovation always involves mistakes and failures. Perfection never occurs on the first try. Crypto market is still in its infancy. So many projects will fail. Plenty will stumble and recover. And you're right. And that's also another one of the reasons why I love Cardano. Because Cardano learned everything that Ethereum did wrong from the beginning. I mean, they basically, Charles walked away from Ethereum and said, I'm going to do this myself. And, got another impersonator. 300 Ethereum bonus in this bogus ass bullshit scam that they're trying to run, impersonating me. And what sucks too is I can't block these people. I can't block them on Facebook, or I can only delete the comments. So I had to go back and check and see, premature exclamation. Exactly. It's exactly what I'm talking about. Hey, Crow from London. What's up? I think I'm 86% British, apparently. So I do like tea, so that's cool. I am looking to have a computer built, and your computer looks sick. Did you use CyberPower or iBuyPower? Actually, this is from my old office. Actually, this isn't even my new office. The computer I'm actually running now is like way. I don't even remember what it was called. It wasn't a cheap rig. But it's the first like i9 or some shit. Like it's a crazy powerful processor. They told me I was one of the first 4 people to have one. And I got it on Newegg, I think. And it's not an iBuyPower or a CyberPower. I honestly don't remember what it is, but I know that it was like the biggest, best rig at the time. Because I'm running 2. Like I'll have to take a picture of my office and I'll put it up on Twitter or something sometime. But I have 2, I think these are 46-inch ultra widescreen Samsung monitors. And I basically got them like like if I were playing a racing game or something, it'd be pretty crazy. But I like to be able to have stuff over here I can reference. And then I have stuff here, and then I have my camera like dead in between the 2 monitors. So yeah, I wanted something to do that with. Rumble. Follow me on Rumble, people. There's 281 of you right now. Some of you guys have been dropping off. You're like, this dude just rambles forever. I'm going to go take a break. It's lunchtime for some people now. It's 12 o'clock. So, all right, I'm going to scroll down, see if there's any questions. Let's see. Crow has an R factor many times over the average person. I'm not sure what R factor is. Ridiculous. I may very well have a ridiculous factor. Crypto Mag already set for you in Rumble. LFG, what's up? Let's go. Neo is the one to buy. That's funny. I haven't heard anything about Neo in so long. Boo on Neo. Oh wow, I'm like 15 minutes late on these comments. That's cool. I like how they're time stamped. Rand Corp started watching Crow at ADA at 6 cents. Don't look at price, make friends, build something. That's cool. Rand Corp, I'm pretty sure this is the gentleman talking to me. They're setting up some big ADA convention in Colorado, and I've been talking to them about it. They want me to go and speak and do some panels and be like, get up on stage and talk about Cardano. I don't think I would be able to do that without getting really emotional, so I'm kind of fighting it. But I don't know. We'll see. I told him at some point, it looks really damn cool, if I'm honest. And I told him, I'm like, this looks really cool. And it's like the first one of its kind that they're doing. And, I told him, I was like, give me a coupon code or something like that. Save people some money on tickets. I'll start talking about them on the channel. And, if it does well enough, then you guys can fly me out and lavish me in gifts and cash and, all kinds of stuff. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, I mean, if it does well, then maybe they'll fly me out and I'll go. And, my wife and I will make a weekend of it. I'll speak and get everybody all mushy. There's Tanker Monkey. You need to set up a private CC or NAMI wallet, protect your seed phrase, and send the ADA off the exchange to your private wallet and delegate it to Crowpool. I'm sure he has a video. I do, actually. I have a video on how to delegate. It's in my Cardano playlist. Let's see what's next. Just watch COTI Cardano working together. Yes, it is. Why are people happy that UST has failed? It was the only decentralized stablecoin. Welcome to fully controlled centralized stablecoins where you have no privacy and they can freeze your money. Yeah, I mean, that's true to an extent. I'm not happy. I'm never happy anything fails because I know that anytime something fails, it means somebody lost money. That's definitely not why I'm here. So yeah, I mean, it does suck, but this is what happens. Think about the Wild West, man. How many different businesses, how many things happened in the Wild West as somebody started this business or started that, and things fail all the time. I mean, like I said, crypto's still in its infancy. We don't even have proper regulation yet. We're all still kind of flying around in the dark, trying to figure out what's going to work, what's going to change the world, what's going to make us wealthier, what's going to improve our lives. And right now, at a time where everything in the world seems dark and glim and gloom, and there's just a lot of crazy happening. So I'm never happy about anything negative transpiring. That's just never good. Video got stuck for a few seconds. Okay. I mean, that's not terrible. Perfect quality so far. Awesome. Maybe I'll start doing this on a regular. I wish I could start showing my screen. I'm using Streamlabs. So I need to figure out what about Streamlabs is working well and what about Slobs makes me drop frames, kind of. BJ Daily, hey Jason, I need help recovering my coins on Binance and Poloniex. I'm from Lawrenceburg, Indiana. Interesting. It's where I went to high school for a couple years. Can you help me or point me in the right direction, please? For one, I didn't even know people did anything on Poloniex still. I don't know. I need help recovering my coins on Binance and Poloniex. I know that when Binance switched everything and they launched Binance US, they gave everybody a lot of time. I thought that you could always pull your assets off of Binance. I guess it just kind of depends on the situation or the circumstance, like, have you reached out to them? I mean, I really don't know. I don't know. And I don't think I've ever used Poloniex for anything. So I don't really know. I know they were one of the first exchanges, but they suffered a big hack or whatever. And then I think they just kind of went downhill from there. Unfortunately, I'd love to help someone from Lawrenceburg, but I'd be lying if I tried to present an answer and said that would work for you, because I really don't know, unfortunately. The only thing I can tell you is just keep emailing them and see what they say. What wallet can a small or medium business with multiple locations use to accept crypto directly? What wallet can a small or medium business with multiple locations use to accept? So it depends on where you're at. I mean, are you trying to accept crypto and have it automatically converted into fiat? Or are you just trying to accumulate crypto from customers that you accumulate over time? Like you trust, depending on where you're at. Holy cow. Excuse me. Sorry. I hate it when people do that in the mic. I would annoy myself sometimes watching myself. I really would. But I know UTrust is really great if you're wanting to launch an e-commerce site or something like that and accept crypto, but I think they automatically convert that crypto into USD or whatever your fiat currency is. If you're trying to do it online, like through WordPress or something, there's Crypto Woo or something like that, where you can integrate crypto payment processing and accept crypto, and then that will go into a wallet, and then you can send it to wherever you want. I mean, there are different options for you. I guess it's such a specific thing, and there's really not enough information there for me to judge, because it's if you're basically saying, how do I have a different wallet for every location? I don't know. I mean, ultimately, you could set up something like, well, I mean, technically, like if you were trying to do Cardano, like if you had the Daedalus wallet, you can create a wallet for every one of your store locations, each with their own address. It's all going into the same UI. When you open up your Daedalus wallet, you can see I've got 10 locations. I've got 10 Cardano wallets. And then if you really want to take it a step further, you can delegate the assets in each of those wallets to Cronode or whatever node you like, and basically use your revenue stream to accumulate more ADA over time. And, you know, it's all basically the same software, the same UI, the same hub, but you've got it all broken down into different wallets. The only thing is trying to find something. I think maybe Crypto Woo could do that. But you would have to ultimately have a separate website for each one too, unless there's a way to configure, well, I want this store sales to go to this wallet, this store sales. I don't know. I mean, that's something I haven't directly looked for, but that maybe at least points you in the right direction, something that's possible for you to do. Video's good. However, you look massive. I am massive. I am massive. There's no doubt about that. Perfect stream quality. Good. That's pretty cool. Crow, no more feet pictures on Twitter, please. I thought that was hilarious. I was trying to figure out how many people will actually get this joke. Because, you know, it's like a common thing. People send like the D pics and you send it with like a water bottle or something, right? For reference. Not that I've ever done that. I'm just saying. And I thought, well, OnlyFans, everybody got all these feet people on OnlyFans. Somebody had mentioned a comment about feet being a big thing on OnlyFans. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I got to do a Twitter joke about this just to break some tension in this bear market. So I took a picture of my feet with a water bottle, and I asked if anyone thought I should either just buy back into Cardano at the bottom, or if I should start an OnlyFans account. It's gotten a lot of comments though. But yeah, if you're not following me on Twitter, well, you're missing some fun. Oh boy, let's see. Man, I am sorry. I don't even know what SEK is, but thank you very much. I'm not quite sure how to pronounce your name. CSG Twitch, CS Go. Is that Counter-Strike Go? I'm guessing. Is this a gamer? Would recommend to really look into Radix in your spare time. Probably going to be the place for DeFi in the future. Well, thank you for that little super chat there. And, you know, Roger Rappel, how are your testosterone issues? Pretty good, I think. I mean, I'm on a lower dose than I used to be. For those of you that care, they did have to take my dose down because I was on a much higher dose and I felt like a superstar across all levels. And but unfortunately, it made my blood thicker. And after a little while, I would consider it a cycle, because I would go and get my blood drawn like every 8 weeks, which I still do like clockwork, but I really needed it. And sometimes I would really need a blood draw before I was able to get one, because they limit how often you can go. And it was just getting bad. I mean, it was at a point where I'd have to like go to a bodybuilder's house and have his wife do a blood dump in their kitchen, because I just had to, because my blood was getting so thick. It gets really difficult to take a deep breath, and you never feel satisfied, and you're kind of like really struggling to breathe in. And it's like, that's dangerous. And so, you know, I ended up getting a new, I ended up with an endocrinologist who we did a whole bunch of blood tests and this and that. And she cut my dose down. And I take 2 shots a week. My wife sticks me in the butt twice a week with a needle. And, she gets a kick out of it sometimes. Sometimes it hurts like hell. Sometimes it doesn't feel like anything. You just never know. It's kind of like crypto. You never know what you're going to get today. But yeah, I mean, everything's leveled out. Everything's really good. I mean, I think my levels are around 600 something, pretty much like clockwork. And, you know, yeah, I mean, that's it. I don't even know what my dosage is exactly. My wife knows all that. She keeps track of everything. I just kind of grab a wall and grin. So, been in Cardano since you were talking about it back when you were in the car dealership. Haha, back when you used to talk about Tron, etc. I can't wait to buy back in. I sleep better when I hold SFS. Car deal. I was never at a car dealership. I think you're thinking about the mortgage company. I've never sold cars. I actually tried to sell cars for like a week and they fired me because I wouldn't rip off this like Mexican family that came in. This whole family came into this dealership, man. There was like 10 of them, and they were looking at this big truck, and it was like an old truck, but it had like a cracked engine block. And I was like, and I told him, I'm like, this car has a cracked engine block. And I got fired because I was supposed to just sell him the car. And I'm like, yeah, this isn't my racket. I'm not going to rip off an entire family just so that you guys can make a few $100. Like, get the fuck out of here. It's not, no. Hey, Crow, still recruiting a 7-footer for our basketball team. You got NCAA eligibility left. That's funny. I doubt it. And even if I did, I doubt my knees or my knees and my hips. My hips hurt often, like in storms and stuff from throwing like a billion leg kicks and a billion bag kicks. And yeah, I mean, my athletic days, if you could ever even say I had them, are probably gone. I mean, I have a nasty punch and a nasty kick, and I've got about a minute to use them before I need to take a damn nap. It's funny because I posted this thing on Twitter, and it was like, who should I fight in a celebrity boxing match or like a influencer boxing match? And everybody was like, BitBoy. And I'm like, oh my God. So I have this private invite only group on Telegram with all of the, I mean, there's like 185, 190 of the YouTubers out there. And it's kind of like our church, like the hotel in John Wick, where it's like everybody's cool, everybody's friends. There's no violence committed, no egos, that kind of thing. And I told BitBoy, I'm like, everybody wants you and me to fight in a boxing match. He's like, that's cool. I'll just run around the ring until you get tired. And I'm like, that's not fair. That's not fair at all. So yeah. And I suck at basketball. I'm not even going to front. I'm not good at basketball. I used to be able to jump kick the basketball net, but I've never dunked a ball unless I bent the rim down a little bit first through about 30 efforts. So, all right. Well, an hour and 16 minutes. I think we've had some fun, hopefully. And, I'll probably throw this up on Rumble. If you're not following me on Rumble yet, I highly encourage you to do so. And because I can see doing this pretty often, especially as there some big things happening in the world. And, I should be on Twitter, I should be on YouTube, and I should be on Facebook right now. And hopefully it reaches a bunch of people and we had some fun, answered a bunch of questions. I really appreciate everybody. All your comments, your questions, and everything else. So until next time, guys, thanks for joining me today. Hopefully you had some fun, and I'll see you again real soon. Crow your coins.